Welcome back my YouTube channel Worth Old Coin Value. Today, we're taking a close look at one of the most famous and sought-after pennies in U.S. coin history, this coin 1944 1-cent wheat penny. This humble-looking coin has stunned collectors and investors alike, and for a very good reason. At first glance, the 1944 wheat penny might seem like just another old coin. After all, over 1 billion of them were minted, making it one of the most common pennies ever produced. But within this massive production run lies a hidden story, one that involves mint errors, wartime metal shortages, and a legendary version of this coin that could be worth a fortune. To understand why this coin is so special, we need to go back to the context of its time. The year was 1944. The world was still at war, and the U.S. Mint had been making pennies from steel coated in zinc in 1943 to save copper for wartime needs. However, in 1944, they returned to using copper, recycling shell casings from the battlefield to produce new coins. The vast majority of 1944 pennies were made from this recycled copper. These coins have a reddish-brown or chocolate-brown tone and weigh 3.11 grams. They were produced at 3 mints: Philadelphia, no mint mark; Denver, D, and San Francisco, S. But not all 1944 pennies followed the expected formula. Here's where the mystery begins. A tiny number of 1944 pennies were mistakenly struck on leftover steel planchets from the previous year. These steel cents are noticeably different in appearance. They're silvery gray in color, magnetic, and weigh slightly less than their copper counterparts, around 2.7 grams. These error coins are known as the 1944 steel wheat pennies, and they are incredibly rare. Only a few dozen are believed to exist across all mint locations. They're among the most valuable error coins in all of U.S. numismatics and are often called holy grails by collectors. But that's not the only thing collectors are looking for. Even among regular copper 1944 wheat pennies, condition, rarity, and mint errors can dramatically affect value. Coins in pristine, uncirculated condition with full, original luster can command high prices. Those with doubling, die cracks, or off-center strikes can also bring in more than average. Now, let's talk about value. The average circulated 1944 copper wheat penny is worth between 5 and 50 cents, depending on where. A nice, uncirculated one might fetch $5 to $10. However, a verified 1944 steel wheat penny is where things get exciting. In 2021, a 1944 steel penny sold for over $1.3 million at auction. Even more astonishing, a specimen-grade 1944 steel penny from the Philadelphia Mint has been valued as high as $1.5 million, making it one of the most valuable Lincoln cents ever known. Such high values are due to both the rarity of the steel composition and the historical importance of these coins. They are not just currency. They are mistakes, accidents of history that now hold immense value. But beware, many fakes and altered coins exist, especially copper-plated 1943 steel cents made to look like the rare 1944 variety. Authenticate your coin. Check its weight with a precise scale. If it's around 2.7 grams and sticks to a magnet, you might be holding a 1944 steel cent. For a definitive answer, submit your coin to a professional grading service like PCGS or NGC. They will verify authenticity and assign a grade, which is critical for determining true market value. Even if you don't have the steel version, don't discount your 1944 penny just yet. High-grade red examples, those with original mint color, can bring several $100s at auction. The key is preservation. Coins kept in dry, cool environments and handled minimally tend to fare best. When searching through old jars, inherited collections, or estate sales, pay close attention to the date and metal composition. Sometimes, the most valuable coins look the most ordinary. It's the fine details and errors that can turn a common coin into a rare treasure. The story of a 1944 penny reminds us how even a 1-cent coin can hold remarkable value when history, error, and scarcity intersect. It's a great example of why coin collecting continues to fascinate and reward enthusiasts around the world. Collectors often build entire sets of Lincoln wheat cents, and the 1944 issue is essential to that collection. Whether it's a common copper penny or one of the ultra-rare steel ones, every version has a place in numismatic history. If you're new to collecting, start by examining the change in your pocket. You never know. You could be holding something far more valuable than its face suggests. Especially with coins like the 1944 penny, the excitement lies in the unknown. Even in 2025, demand for rare and historic coins remains high. Auctions, private collectors, and museums are all on the lookout for authenticated 1944 steel cents. So, if you think you have one, it might be time to look a little closer or consult an expert. That wraps up our detailed look at this coin 1 cent 1944 United States wheat penny coin history. This coin 1942 United States 1 cent wheat penny, a coin that continues to attract collectors and historians alike. The 1942 wheat penny is part of the iconic Lincoln cent series, which began in 1909. Designed by Victor David Brenner, this series features President Abraham Lincoln on the obverse and 2 wheat stalks flanking the words 1 cent on the reverse, which is why it's commonly referred to as the wheat penny. In 1942, the United States was deeply involved in World War II. As a result, changes in coin production were being considered to support the war effort. However, in this year, the penny was still made from the traditional bronze composition, 95% copper and 5% tin and zinc. The Philadelphia Mint produced the majority of these coins, with over 657 million struck. Additionally, the Denver Mint struck over 206 million pennies, and the San Francisco Mint contributed nearly 86 million. Together, these mints produced nearly 1 billion wheat pennies in 1942, though the mintage numbers were high. Not all 1942 pennies are equal. The value of a coin depends on several key factors, including mint mark, condition, and any potential minting errors or rare varieties that may be present. One of the things collectors look for is the mint mark, a small letter under the date indicating the mint where the coin was produced. Coins without a mint mark were made in Philadelphia. Those with a D came from Denver, and an S signifies San Francisco. The general wear and tear that comes from circulation can significantly affect a coin's value. A well-worn 1942 penny might be worth only a few cents, but an uncirculated or high-grade coin can command much higher prices from collectors. Grading plays a crucial role in determining a coin's value. Coins are graded on a 70-point scale, with MS, mint state, grades representing uncirculated coins. A 1942 penny in MS 65 condition or higher becomes particularly valuable to numismatists. There are also varieties and errors that make some 1942 wheat pennies much more desirable. Examples include double dies, repunched mint marks, and off-center strikes. These anomalies can increase a penny's worth dramatically. In rare cases, a small number of 1942 pennies were mistakenly struck on planchets meant for foreign coins or made from experimental materials, like steel or brass. These rare errors are extremely limited and highly prized by collectors. One such remarkable specimen, a 1942 wheat penny struck in bronze, but with an unusual surface and error, has fetched staggering prices at auction. This coin was professionally graded and verified for its uniqueness and authenticity. The most astonishing sale of a 1942 wheat penny took place when a rare variety in pristine condition sold for an incredible $1.9 million at a high-profile numismatic auction. This coin combined rarity, historical value, exceptional condition, and collector demand that it's important to understand that most 1942 pennies won't reach that value. However, even common examples in excellent condition can sell for $10 to $50, and rare varieties or mint errors can easily exceed $1,000. Depending on the market, that if you believe you have a valuable 1942 penny, it's worth getting it evaluated by a professional coin grading service. Services like PCGS or NGC can authenticate and grade your coin, giving you a better idea of its potential worth. Preserve the value of your coin. Avoid cleaning it, as that can reduce its grade and appeal to collectors. Instead, store it in a protective holder and handle it carefully, preferably with gloves, to avoid fingerprints or other damage. With many collectibles, the story behind the coin adds to its charm. The 1942 penny is a small but powerful piece of American history, created during a pivotal time and still found occasionally in circulation today. Whether you're a serious collector or someone who just found a wheat penny in an old jar, this coin 1 cent 1942 United States wheat penny coin history. This coin 1941 United States 1 cent coin, also known as the wheat penny. While most of these coins are common, certain rare examples have reached staggering values. Let's uncover what makes this coin special and how one sold for an astonishing $1.8 million. The Wheat Penny series, officially called the Lincoln Cent, was introduced in 1909 to commemorate the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. Designed by Victor David Brenner, this coin was the first U.S. coin to feature a real person. It stayed in circulation for decades and became a beloved collector's item. The 1941 wheat penny belongs to a time just before America entered World War II. With the world on edge, millions of these coins were minted. However, the historical context of the early 1940s gives this particular year added meaning, making the 1941 issue especially interesting for collectors. On the obverse or front of the 1941 Lincoln Cent, you'll find the profile of President Abraham Lincoln. Above his head is the motto, "In God We Trust." To the left is the word liberty, and to the right is the date, 1941. If the coin has a mint mark, you'll see it just beneath the date. The reverse side features 2 stalks of wheat, which give the coin its nickname, the wheat penny. Between them is the denomination 1 cent, with United States of America beneath it. Above, you'll find the Latin motto, E pluribus unum, meaning, out of many, 1.3 mints produced the 1941 wheat penny. Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. Philadelphia coins have no mint mark. Denver coins are marked with a D, and San Francisco coins carry an S. Each version has its own mintage numbers and levels of rarity. In total, over 887 million 1941 Lincoln Cents were struck in Philadelphia, 128 million in Denver, and around 92 million in San Francisco. While that makes this coin fairly common in circulated condition, the value increases significantly in mint state and rare air varieties. The coin's composition is 95% copper and 5% tin and zinc. It weighs 3.11 grams and has a diameter of 19 millimeters. This was the standard composition until 1943, when the U.S. temporarily switched to steel cents due to wartime copper shortages. One of the most intriguing things about the 1941 wheat penny is the variety of errors and anomalies that can occur. These include double dies, off-center strikes, and repunched mint marks. Error coins like these are highly sought after and can be worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars. Another major factor affecting value is the coin's condition. A coin that has seen heavy circulation may only be worth a few cents. However, an uncirculated or high-grade example can command a much higher price. Coins graded MS-65 or higher by professional grading services are particularly valuable. Now, let's talk about the value that truly amazes collectors and investors alike. While the average 1941 wheat penny in circulated condition might sell for just 10 to 50 cents, pristine examples in near-perfect condition can sell for hundreds. A gem-quality coin graded MS-67 or above with strong luster and clean surfaces can bring in several $1,000s at auction. But the most remarkable case was a 1941 wheat penny that sold for a breathtaking $1.8 million. This coin wasn't just rare. It had a combination of near-perfect preservation, an extraordinary error and historic provenance. Experts believe it was struck on a bronze planchet intended for a different year and preserved in flawless condition for decades. The $1.8 million sale shows that while most wheat pennies are common, the rarest specimens can become the crown jewels of a coin collection. These coins are not only historical artifacts, but also valuable investments. Such high-profile sales have increased interest in the wheat penny series worldwide. To reach this kind of value, a coin must be authenticated and graded by a reputable third-party grading service, such as PCGS or NGC. Documentation, provenance, and expert verification are essential to securing high values for rare coins. It's important to note that not all old coins are automatically valuable. What sets the high-value examples apart is a mix of rarity, exceptional condition, historical significance, and collector demand. That's why professional evaluation is key when determining a coin's true worth. That if you think you might have a 1941 wheat penny tucked away in a drawer, take a closer look. Use a magnifying glass to check for errors or unusual features. Look for strong luster, minimal wear, and sharp details. These are all signs that a coin may be worth grading or appraising. Collectors around the world continue to hunt for rare wheat pennies, not just for their monetary value, but also for the sense of history they carry. Each coin is a small piece of the past, connecting us to an era of change, resilience, and national pride. Whether you're a seasoned collector or just getting started, this coin 1 cent 1941 United States wheat penny coin history. This coin 1940 United States wheat penny, the 1 cent coin that might just surprise you with its history, design, and value. The 1940 wheat penny holds a special place in American numismatics. Though it was a fairly common coin at the time of issue, over the decades, collectors have discovered rare varieties, error versions, and high-grade specimens that are now worth hundreds, thousands, or even more in the collector's market. This penny was minted just before the U.S. entered World War II, making it part of the final batch of pre-war Lincoln cents. Its historical background adds another layer of interest for collectors who value not only the coin itself, but also the era it represents. Designed by Victor David Brenner, the 1940 wheat penny features the familiar portrait of President Abraham Lincoln on the obverse. This simple yet dignified profile has been in use since 1909, marking the centennial of Lincoln's birth. Beneath Lincoln's bust, you'll see the date 1940 clearly struck. Above him is the word liberty, and to the right is the motto, "In God We Trust." These elements remain standard on all Lincoln cents, both past and present. Turning the coin over, the reverse side showcases two stylized wheat ears framing the words 1 cent in bold letters at the center. Above that is E Pluribus Unum, and below is United States of America. This reverse design was used from 1909 until 1958 and is what gives the coin its wheat penny nickname. The 1940 wheat penny was minted in 3 U.S. mints: Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. The Philadelphia coins bear no mint mark, while the Denver coins have a small D under the date, and San Francisco coins carry an I. In terms of mintage, Philadelphia produced the highest number, over 586 million coins. Denver minted around 81 million, and San Francisco added approximately 112 million. These numbers tell us that the coin was not rare at the time of release, but not all of these pennies have survived in good condition today. Collectors especially seek out uncirculated specimens, coins that have never been used in everyday transactions. These coins retain their full detail, original luster, and sharp edges. A 1940 wheat penny in such condition can command significant premiums. Another major factor that affects a coin's value is its grade. Coins are typically graded on the Sheldon scale from 1 to 70. A well-preserved 1940 penny in mint state, MS 65 or higher, could be worth much more than one in circulated condition. Now, let's talk about the potential value. While common, worn examples of the 1940 penny may only be worth a few cents to $1. certain rare and high-grade coins have fetched incredible prices. In fact, a few highly graded and rare error versions of the 1940 wheat penny have sold at auction for up to $2 million. These coins are usually in near-perfect condition, sometimes with double dies or other minting errors that make them extremely desirable among top-tier collectors. One known type of valuable error is the double die obverse, where the details on Lincoln's face, the lettering, or the date may appear slightly duplicated under magnification. These varieties are rare, but they are highly sought after. Another interesting variant is the off-center strike or clip planchet error. These mistakes occur during the minting process and result in coins with parts of the design missing or misaligned. While these may seem like imperfections, they're actually quite valuable in the coin collecting world. Color also plays a role in the value. Copper pennies can tone or change shade over time. A bright red example, referred to as red in numismatic terms, usually commands a much higher price than a dull brown version of the same coin. But it's also worth noting that storage and handling over the years significantly affect a coin's condition. Coins that have been kept in albums, capsules, or protected from the elements stand a much better chance of reaching higher grades when submitted to grading services. Professional grading by services like PCGS or NGC can authenticate and assign a grade to your coin, giving you a better idea of its market value. If you believe you have a rare or well-preserved 1940 penny, it might be worth submitting it for evaluation. Many collectors today still find 1940 wheat pennies in old jars, estate collections, or inherited boxes of coins. While most are common, you never know when a rare variant could appear. That's what makes the hunt so exciting. To wrap things up, this coin 1 cent 1940 United States wheat penny coin history. This coin 1939 United States 1 cent wheat penny. Whether you're new to coin collecting or an experienced numismatist, you'll find a lot of value in understanding this humble yet historic penny. The 1939 wheat penny is part of the Lincoln Cent series, which first began in 1909 to honor President Abraham Lincoln's 100th birthday. Designed by Victor David Brenner, the obverse features Lincoln's right-facing bust, and this same portrait continues to be used on cents to this day, although with some modern design changes over time. The reverse of the coin features the iconic wheat ears on both sides, which is why collectors often refer to these early cents as wheat pennies or wheat cents. Between the wheat stalks, you'll see the words 1 cent and United States of America, with a Latin motto, E pluribus unum, above. In 1939, the United States Mint produced Lincoln wheat pennies at 3 locations: Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. Coins minted in Philadelphia have no mint mark, while those struck in Denver and San Francisco bear the D and S mint marks respectively, just below the date on the obverse side. The total mintage across all 3 mints was quite high. Philadelphia produced over 316 million coins. Denver struck about 15 million, and San Francisco minted roughly 52 million. Despite the large mintage, not all 1939 wheat pennies are created equal. Especially when it comes to condition, errors, and rarity point, one of the most interesting aspects of the 1939 wheat penny lies in its small but notable varieties. Some coins exhibit minor doubling, known as double die errors, particularly on the reverse lettering. These variations can be quite valuable if authenticated and graded by a reputable service like PCGS or NGC. Collectors especially seek out coins in pristine condition, those that have never circulated and retain their full, original red luster. These coins are graded as MS, mint state, and can fetch impressive prices. A 1939 wheat penny in MS 65 red condition is highly collectible and can be valued in the hundreds or even thousands of dollars depending on the mint mark and visual appeal. Now, when it comes to value, let's talk about something extraordinary. While most 1939 wheat pennies are worth between a few cents and a few $100s, There have been rare cases of ultra-high-grade specimens or unique errors that have sold for astronomical amounts at auction. In one documented instance, a rare 1939 wheat penny with a significant mint error and near-perfect grading sold for close to $2 million. While this is not the norm, it does highlight the importance of getting your coin professionally evaluated. That kind of value is only possible when all the stars align. A rare mint error, combined with extremely high-grade preservation and strong collector demand. These coins are museum quality and often become the centerpiece of elite coin collections. It's a powerful reminder that even a 1-cent coin can hold a life-changing value under the right conditions. Apart from errors and high grades, the historical context of 1939 adds another layer of interest. This was a year marked by global tension as World War II began in Europe. Although the United States wouldn't enter the war until 1941, the period leading up to it brought significant changes in American industry and economy, reflected subtly even in coin production and metal usage. As the 1930s came to a close, the Great Depression was waning, but its economic effects were still visible. Coins like the 1939 wheat penny were a daily part of life for millions of Americans, used in shops, trains, newspapers, and even candy machines. Holding one today connects you directly to that chapter of history. From a design perspective, the wheat penny remains one of the most beloved American coin styles. Collectors appreciate the balance of its artistry, historical relevance, and the emotional connection it creates to earlier generations. This makes the 1939 issue especially desirable, sitting right in the middle of an important transitional period in American coinage. For those interested in building a Lincoln cent collection, the 1939 penny is a must-have. It's not just about rarity. It's about the role this coin plays in telling the broader story of 20th century America. Even lower-grade examples are worth keeping, especially if you come across the Denver or San Francisco mint marks. When examining a 1939 wheat penny, pay close attention to the details. Look at the condition of Lincoln's cheek and jawline, the sharpness of the wheat stalks, and the clarity of the date and lettering. These small factors can make a big difference when determining grade and value. That if you happen to find a 1939 wheat penny in your pocket change, don't overlook it. Although most are worth only modest amounts, it might be worth sending it in for evaluation, especially if it appears uncirculated or shows signs of being an error coin. It's always better to check than to miss out on a potential treasure. Identify the mint mark. Turn the coin over to the obverse side and check just below the date. A small D or S indicates a Denver or San Francisco mint, respectively. No mark at all means it came from Philadelphia. Each mint has its own level of desirability depending on the coin's condition. Always remember, the best way to truly understand a coin's value is to have it graded. Professional grading services evaluate coins for authenticity, grade, and any notable errors. This not only confirms your coin's worth, but also increases its resale value if you ever choose to sell it. That brings us to the end of our deep dive into this coin, 1 cent 1939 United States wheat penny coin history. This coin, 1938D 1 cent wheat penny from the United States. This little copper coin holds more history, detail, and value than most people realize, especially for collectors and numismatists who understand what to look for. The 1938 D wheat penny was minted at the Denver Mint, which is denoted by the small d mint mark below the date on the coin. During this year, the Denver Mint produced over 20 million of these coins. While this might seem like a large number, their survival in pristine condition is far less common. The obverse, or front, of the coin features the familiar bust of Abraham Lincoln, facing right. This design was created by Victor David Brenner and first introduced in 1909. It became an iconic representation of a U.S. penny and has continued on through the years with few changes. Above Lincoln's portrait are the words, "In God we trust," and to the left side is the word liberty. To the right of Lincoln is the year of minting, 1938, with the small d beneath it, indicating the Denver Mint as its origin. On the reverse side of the coin, you'll find the classic wheat penny design. Two stylized wheat ears arc along each side of the coin, enclosing the central inscriptions 1 cent and United States of America. Above this is the Latin phrase, E pluribus unum. The wheat penny design was used from 1909 until 1958, and it remains one of the most beloved American coin designs. It speaks to a time in American history where simplicity and strength were central to the nation's identity, especially through the Great Depression era. Even though the 1938 D-Wheat penny isn't the rarest penny ever minted, it holds an important place in history. Being a pre-World War II coin, it represents a transitional time in American society, both economically and politically. In terms of composition, the coin is made of 95% copper and 5% tin and zinc, giving it a warm reddish-brown tone. Over time, depending on how it's been stored or circulated, the penny can darken or develop a unique patina, which can either add or subtract from its value. Collectors often look for coins that are in mint-state condition. That means no wear, sharp details, and original luster. The higher the grade, the more valuable the coin. A 1938 D penny in MS 65 or higher condition can fetch a very attractive price. Errors also add tremendous value to coins. For the 1938 D-Wheat penny, errors such as double dies, off-center strikes, repunched mint marks, and die cracks can increase a coin's value dramatically. Collectors pay a premium for these kinds of rare minting mistakes. Now let's talk about value. A typical circulated 1938 D-Wheat penny may sell for anywhere from 25 cents to $2, depending on where. In uncirculated mint state grades, values climb quickly, reaching up to $50 or more. However, a certified MS 67 red example can command several $100s. In extremely rare cases, with dramatic errors or perfect grade and coloration, prices have been known to reach into the thousands. In one special case, even saw a value estimation of over $2 million, due to a unique combination of flawless preservation, full red coloration, and an ultra-rare double-die obverse. While that's far from typical, it shows how high the ceiling can be for this coin. Provenance also matters. If a coin has a known history, for example, if it once belonged to a notable collection, that can increase its value further. Auction houses sometimes feature these coins, driving up the price through competitive bidding from collectors around the world. When handling old coins, especially one like the 1938 D-Wheat penny, it's best to use cotton gloves or hold them by the edges. Oils from your fingers can damage the surface and reduce both eye appeal and monetary value. TO store and protect your wheat penny collection. Consider using coin flips, acid-free holders, or albums specifically designed for pennies. Avoid PVC-based plastic as it can chemically react with the metal over time. For those who inherit coin collections, identifying a 1938 D-Wheat penny in great condition can be a hidden treasure. It's always worth having old coins appraised by a professional, especially if you're unsure about errors or grading. Many collectors begin their journey with coins like the 1938 D-Wheat penny. It's affordable, historically meaningful, and offers a great introduction to the world of American numismatics. As always, it's important to research and consult with reputable dealers or grading services like PCGS or NGC. These experts can help verify authenticity and give an accurate assessment of condition and market value. This coin 1 cent 1938 D United States wheat penny. Coin history. This coin 1930 United States wheat penny, a small but powerful piece of American history. Whether you're a collector or just curious about old coins, you'll want to stick around to the end. The 1930 wheat penny, also known as the Lincoln cent, is a coin that was struck during a period of major transition in the United States. Just months after this coin entered circulation, the nation would find itself in the grips of the Great Depression. This historical backdrop gives the 1930 penny more than just monetary value. It carries a story from a time when every cent mattered. Designed by Victor David Brenner, the wheat penny was first introduced in 1909 to commemorate the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. The 1930 version maintains the same iconic design, featuring a right-facing bust of Lincoln on the obverse, or front, of the coin. Just beneath the phrase, "In God We Trust," and to the left and right of Lincoln's profile, are the words "Liberty" and the year 1930 on the reverse side. We find a signature design of two wheat stalks arching along the left and right edges. Between them, the words "1 cent" and "United States of America" are boldly engraved, along with the phrase "E pluribus unum" above. This classic design remained in use until 1958 and earned the nickname wheat penny due to the prominent wheat ears on the back. There are two primary varieties of the 1930 wheat penny. One minted in Philadelphia, which carries no mint mark, and the other minted in San Francisco, which features a smallest mint mark just below the date. The Philadelphia Mint struck over 185 million of these coins, while the San Francisco Mint produced approximately 50 million. Although these mintage numbers may sound high, survival rates in excellent condition are far lower. Many 1930 pennies were heavily circulated, worn down through everyday use, and thus lost their finer details. Coins in pristine condition, especially with sharp features and luster, are far more scarce. Condition plays a major role in determining the value of any vintage coin. Grading is typically done on a scale from poor, P1, to mint state, MS70. Most circulated 1930 wheat pennies fall somewhere in the range of good to fine, which are still collectible but not extremely rare. However, when a coin is found in a higher grade, especially in uncirculated condition, it becomes significantly more valuable. Collectors are particularly drawn to coins that have maintained their original red color, known as red Lincoln cents. Over time, copper coins tend to darken or tone, so finding a red 1930 penny with its bright copper color intact is quite rare. These red examples are often seen in high-end auctions and are typically the result of careful storage and preservation. In terms of average value, a well-worn 1929 wheat penny in good condition might fetch between 20 cents and $1 from collectors. In very fine condition, the price can rise to around $2 to $5. Uncirculated examples, especially those graded MS60 and above, can be worth anywhere from $20 to several $100s, depending on their eye appeal and grading certification. Now, let's talk about the truly exceptional cases. Some 1930 wheat pennies have been discovered with rare errors or in remarkably high mint state condition, graded MS67 red or even MS68 red by top grading agencies like PCGS or NGC. These ultra-rare coins are where we see jaw-dropping values. Point 1, particularly notable case, involve a 1930 wheat penny that sold for up to $2 million. This coin was not only in perfect condition, but also had a unique die variety and flawless surfaces, making it one of the finest known examples in existence. Sales like this are extremely rare, but they highlight the potential hidden in what might look like an ordinary coin to the untrained eye. Error coin from 1930 also add a layer of intrigue. Missed strikes, double dies, off-center strikes, and clip planchets are all possible and can significantly increase the value. For example, a 1930 penny with a dramatic double die obverse can command thousands of dollars depending on its condition and rarity. When evaluating your own 1930 wheat penny, always look at the details under good lighting. Check for clear lines, especially in Lincoln's hair and coat, the wheat stalks on the reverse, and any signs of doubling or unusual minting flaws. Even small variations can make a huge difference in value that it's highly recommended to have any potentially valuable coin professionally graded. Third-party grading services like PeaceGS and NGC offer authentication and certification, which adds credibility and value when selling or displaying your coin. Preserving your coins properly also matters. Store them in acid-free holders or coin flips, and avoid touching them with bare hands. The oils from your skin can cause discoloration or damage over time, particularly on older copper coins like the wheat penny. If you're looking to sell a 1930 wheat penny, consider getting multiple evaluations. Local coin dealers, online marketplaces, and auctions all offer different opportunities, but be sure you're working with reputable sources. Avoid quick cash deals without understanding your coin's true value. For those interested in building a collection, this coin 1930 United States wheat penny coin history. This coin 1923 1-cent wheat penny from the United States, a coin that carries significant history and, in some cases, extraordinary value. The 1923 wheat penny is part of the Lincoln cent series, which began in 1909. This particular coin was minted during a period of economic transition in the United States, just a few years after World War I. Despite its humble face value of 1 cent, this coin has become a cherished piece among collectors. This penny is known for its iconic design, featuring the profile of President Abraham Lincoln on the obverse, or front side. Sculptor Victor David Brenner created this design, and it has remained largely unchanged on the Lincoln cent for over a century. The simplicity and dignity of Lincoln's image continue to resonate with coin collectors and historians alike. On the reverse side of the 1923 penny, you will find 2 wheat stalks curving along the edges, which give the coin its nickname, the wheat penny. Between these stalks, the words 1 cent and United States of America are prominently displayed. Above, the Latin motto E pluribus unum appears, meaning, out of many. The 1923 wheat penny was struck only at the Philadelphia Mint. Unlike some other years, there were no Denver or San Francisco versions of the penny in 1923, which simplifies collecting but also adds a layer of exclusivity for that year. A total of approximately 74 million of these pennies were minted. Despite the high mintage, not all 1923 pennies are the same in terms of quality or value. Many of these coins have been lost over time, worn down from circulation, or damaged, which significantly affects their collectability. Uncirculated or mint condition examples are far more desirable. Collectors look for key factors when determining a coin's value, such as the condition, known as its grade, the presence of any mint errors, and the overall eye appeal. A 1923 wheat penny in circulated condition may only fetch a few dollars, but one in pristine, uncirculated condition can be worth hundreds or even thousands. Grading is critical to determining the value of a 1923 penny. Coins are graded on a scale from 1 to 70, with higher numbers indicating better condition. A coin graded MS 65 or above is considered to be in gem uncirculated condition and can be very valuable, especially if the strike is sharp and the color is attractive. What makes the 1923 wheat penny particularly interesting is the number of examples that exhibit sharp detail and attractive surfaces due to strong dyes used that year. Some collectors seek out red uncirculated examples, pennies that still display their original copper red color, untouched by oxidation or wear. Errors and varieties also play a significant role in a coin's collectability. While the 1923 penny is not widely known for dramatic mint errors, examples with off-center strikes, die cracks, or doubling can command premiums. These varieties are rare but sought after by niche collectors. Provenance can also affect the value of a coin. If a particular 1923 penny was once part of a famous collection or featured in historical auctions, it might carry a higher premium due to its known history and pedigree. Now, let's talk about the value. A 1923 wheat penny in average circulated condition might be worth between 50 cents and $2. Coins in better condition, such as extremely fine or about uncirculated, can range between $10 and $50. However, red gem uncirculated examples, especially those graded MS 66 or higher, can fetch between $1,500 and $15,000 at auction. Exceptionally rare specimens, with perfect strikes and flawless surfaces, have been known to sell for as much as $3 million, especially if combined with a famous provenance or unique features. These are the pinnacle of rarity and collector demand. Such high-end examples are incredibly scarce, often existing in private collections or only appearing once in a generation at major auction houses. They are prized not only for their numismatic value, but also as tangible pieces of American history. So, if you come across a 1923 wheat penny in your pocket change, don't rush to spend it. Examine it carefully. Look at the details, check for wear, and if it seems well preserved, consider having it appraised or graded professionally. Even if it isn't worth millions, your coin might still be a valuable part of history. Owning a nearly century-old coin that once passed through the hands of Americans during the Roaring '20s connects you to a vibrant and transformative era. Coin collecting isn't just about value. It's about curiosity, discovery, and a deeper appreciation for the past. Each coin tells a story of the people who used it, the world they lived in, and the legacy they left behind. This coin 1923 United States wheat penny coin history. This coin 1921 Lincoln wheat penny. The 1921 wheat penny is part of the iconic Lincoln cent series, first introduced in 1909. Designed by Victor David Brenner, the wheat penny features a portrait of President Abraham Lincoln on the obverse and two stylized wheat stalks on the reverse, which give the coin its nickname. This particular coin was minted during a time of economic recovery following World War I. Though not considered a key date by general collectors, certain varieties and conditions of the 1921 penny are extremely valuable today due to their age, condition, and rarity in top grades. The Philadelphia Mint struck approximately 39 million of these pennies in 1921. Since there's no mint mark on Philadelphia coins from this era, the 1921 penny will not have a letter under the date. It's a small detail, but important when identifying your coin. On the obverse, you'll find Lincoln's profile facing right, with the words "In God We Trust" arched above. The word "Liberty" is positioned to the left, while the year 1921 sits on the right side of the coin. This side shows the fine detail of Brenner's artistry. The reverse side features two wheat stalks curving along the left and right edges, surrounding the inscriptions 1 cent and United States of America. Above them, the Latin motto E pluribus unum is present, meaning out of many one. Over time, many of these coins have worn down in circulation, which makes high-grade examples significantly rarer. That's where collectors place their attention, on coins that have survived in excellent condition for over 100 years. Coins graded mint state, especially those designated MS 65 and above by services like PCGS or NGC, command the highest prices. These grades indicate a coin that has never circulated and retains its original luster and sharp details. Color is another important factor. Wheat pennies can be categorized as RD, red, RB, red-brown, or bien brown. A full red 1921 penny in mint state is much more desirable than a brown one due to its vibrant original appearance. Errors and dye varieties can also boost the value of a coin. Though 1921 does not have many known major errors, slight doubling or off-center strikes, if verified, can increase collector interest and price. Now let's talk about the value. A common circulated 1921 penny may be worth anywhere from 25 cents to a few dollars, depending on its condition. However, the value skyrockets for coins in pristine condition that in uncirculated grades, especially MS 65 red or higher. A 1921 wheat penny can sell for several $1,000s. These coins are rare because most pennies from that year entered circulation and were used heavily over the decades. The most astonishing sale, however, occurred at a high-profile auction where a superb, Museum quality 1921 Lincoln wheat penny in MS67 red condition sold for a staggering $3 million. This record-breaking price reflected not only the coin's condition, but its exceptional eye appeal and rarity. Such sales are extremely rare and usually involve private collectors or institutions seeking the best-known example of a particular date. The coin's pedigree or ownership history also plays a role in driving up its final price. It's important to understand that most 1921 pennies won't reach these numbers. Only a tiny fraction survive in gem, uncirculated condition. But for lucky collectors or those inheriting old collections, it's worth taking a close look that if you believe you have a 1921 penny, check its details carefully. Look for strong strike, original red color, and minimal contact marks. If it looks pristine, consider having it graded by a professional service to determine its true market value. Even if your coin isn't worth millions, it's still a wonderful piece of American history. Holding a coin from 1921 is like holding a small piece of the past, a reminder of a very different time in the country's story to us. Whether you're a seasoned collector or just starting your journey, this coin 1921 United States wheat penny, coin history. 1961 Lincoln 1-cent coin. An ordinary-looking penny that may be worth far more than 1 cent. The 1961 Lincoln cent was minted during a period when coin collecting was becoming increasingly popular in the United States. Issued by the U.S. Mint, this coin features the iconic profile of President Abraham Lincoln on the obverse side, a design originally introduced in 1909 to commemorate the centennial of Lincoln's birth. The reverse of the 1961 penny still carried the wheat ears design until 1958, but by 1961, it featured the Lincoln Memorial, which was first introduced in 1959. This change marked a new era in the coin's design, aligning with the 150th anniversary of Lincoln's birth and representing a more modern tribute. The coin was struck primarily at two mints, Philadelphia and Denver. Philadelphia minted coins do not carry a mint mark, while those from Denver are marked with a small D beneath the date on the obverse. Both versions are widely collected today, but condition and rarity play a big role in their value. In terms of composition, the 1961 Lincoln penny is made of 95% copper and 5% zinc, weighing 3.11 grams. This composition gives the coin a distinct reddish hue when uncirculated. Over time, circulation and exposure to air can cause color shifts from red to brown. There were no major design changes in 1961, which makes this coin seem common at first glance. However, it's important to understand that not all coins are created equal. Small variations, errors, and preservation condition can drastically affect a coin's worth. One key factor in determining the value of a 1961 penny is its grade. Coins in mint state, MS condition, especially those graded MS 65 or higher by professional services like PCGS or NGC, command higher prices. Red-toned uncirculated coins are particularly valuable to collectors. Another critical aspect is mint errors. A small number of 1961 pennies exhibit striking errors, such as double dies, off-center strikes, and planchet floss. These rare errors are highly sought after by numismatists and can significantly raise a coin's market value. In recent years, a small number of 1961 pennies have fetched astonishing prices at auctions due to rare minting errors and pristine condition. These are not your everyday pocket change coins, but exceptional examples preserved for decades in nearly perfect condition. One such 1961 Lincoln penny, graded as a red MS 67 with a rare double die obverse, was reported to have been sold privately for close to $4 million. While such a figure is rare and extraordinary, it reflects the incredible value that unique features and near-perfect preservation can bring to a coin. However, it's important to note that the vast majority of 1961 pennies are still worth only their face value or slightly more, unless they show special characteristics. Collectors value coins with original mint luster, full details in the strike, and no signs of cleaning or damage. The story behind the 1961 penny is one of patience and precision. Thousands of these coins were produced and circulated, yet only a select few escape the wear and tear of everyday use. These survivors, especially those kept in sealed mint sets, hold the most potential. If you believe you have a rare or high-grade 1961 penny, it's worth having it professionally graded. Authentication from a recognized grading service can dramatically increase buyer confidence and resale value. Never clean the coin, as this may reduce its value. For collectors and enthusiasts, the 1961 Lincoln cent represents a blend of history, design evolution, and the potential for surprising worth. It's a reminder that even the most modest coin can carry a rich backstory and hidden value. The beauty of coin collecting lies in discovery. A simple coin like this coin 1961 penny coin history's coin 1920 wheat penny from the United States. Whether you're a seasoned collector or just stumbled across an old coin in your change jar, this one is definitely worth your attention. The 1920 wheat penny is one of the classic Lincoln cents, featuring the iconic image of Abraham Lincoln on the obverse. This design was introduced in 1909 to commemorate the centennial of Lincoln's birth, and it quickly became a staple of American coinage. The design remained largely unchanged until 1958, making it a long-standing favorite among collectors. This particular coin, minted in 1920, is notable not just for its age, but for its historical significance. The United States was emerging from the aftermath of World War I, and the economy was undergoing rapid change. Coins from this era serve as small, tangible pieces of that history. Holding a 1920 wheat penny is like holding a fragment of post-war America. On the obverse side, we see the familiar profile of President Abraham Lincoln, designed by Victor David Brenner. His initials, VB, can be found on some versions of the coin, although in 1920 they were subtly placed to avoid controversy seen in earlier issues. The words "In God We Trust," "Liberty," and the date 1920 are cleanly inscribed around the portrait. Flip the coin to the reverse, and you'll find the classic wheat ears design, two stylized stalks of wheat that give this coin its nickname, the wheat penny. The reverse also features the inscriptions 1 cent, United States of America, and E pluribus unum. The wheat ears represent American agriculture, prosperity, and strength. In 1920, the U.S. Mint struck these pennies at 3 different locations: Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. The Philadelphia Mint produced the highest number, with over 310 million coins. Denver followed with around 49 million, and San Francisco contributed approximately 46 million. No mint mark means it's from Philadelphia, while a small D or S under the date indicates Denver or San Francisco, respectively. Because of these high mintages, most 1920 wheat pennies are not rare in circulated condition. However, condition and mint mark significantly affect a coin's value. Coins with sharp detail, original luster, and minimal wear are much more desirable and command higher prices among collectors. Let's talk about the metal content. The 1920 wheat penny is composed of 95% copper and 5% tin and zinc. These coins have a reddish-brown tone when well preserved, but many have darkened or developed a patina over the decades. Despite being a common coin in its time, this copper-based composition gives the coin a solid, lasting appearance even today. One of the most important factors in evaluating a 1920 wheat penny is grade. Coins are graded on a scale from 1 to 70, with higher numbers representing better condition. A heavily worn 1920 penny might grade as good, G4, while one in pristine, uncirculated condition could reach grades like mint state, MS 65, or even higher. These higher grade coins are far less common and highly sought after. Now, let's move into what everyone wants to know, the value. A typical 1920 wheat penny in circulated condition might be worth between 20 cents and $5, depending on wear and mint mark. However, if you happen to own a 1920 wheat penny in exceptional condition, especially in grades above MS 65, its value can skyrocket. In one astonishing auction, a 1920 Lincoln wheat penny in top-tier mint state red condition sold for nearly $2 million. This was due to its incredible preservation, rare color designation, and demand from high-end collectors. Though rare, this proves the immense potential hidden in these small copper coins how do you know if your coin might be worth thousands or even millions? Look for coins that have bright red coloring with no signs of wear, scratches, or blemishes. Also, check for any unusual errors such as double dies, off-center strikes, or misaligned mint marks. These rare features can dramatically increase a coin's value. Interestingly, some errors on the 1920 wheat penny have become collector favorites. One example is the 1920 D with a repunched mint mark, where the D was struck more than once. Another is the double die variety, which causes parts of the design, like the date or lettering, to appear slightly duplicated. These varieties are much rarer and often sell for hundreds or thousands of dollars. For those of the 1920s wheat penny, the value could be even higher in mint state due to its lower mintage compared to Philadelphia. Collectors often pay a premium for high-grade San Francisco pennies because they're harder to find in good condition. So even a circulated S mint coin might be worth more than its D or no mint mark counterpart. If you're curious about how to grade your coin or verify if it has an error, consider having it evaluated by a professional coin grading service, such as PCGS or NGC. These services not only authenticate and grade coins, but also provide sealed holders that help preserve them and make them easier to sell. Caring for your 1920 wheat penny is important, especially if it shows signs of being a high-grade example. Never clean the coin, as this can significantly reduce its value. Instead, store it in a soft coin flip or a protective holder to prevent scratches and exposure to air or moisture. Over the past decade, there has been growing interest in classic U.S. coinage, and Lincoln wheat pennies remain among the most collected series. As more collectors enter the hobby, demand for high-grade and rare error varieties continues to climb, pushing prices higher across the board. Whether you're collecting for fun, investment, or historical interest, this coin 1920 United States wheat penny coin history. This coin 1922 1-cent wheat penny is one of the most intriguing and sought-after coins among collectors of United States currency. Minted over a century ago, this coin tells a fascinating story of production quirks, rarity, and rising value over time. It continues to be a symbol of both American numismatic history and the unpredictability of coin minting. At first glance, the 1922 penny looks much like other Lincoln wheat pennies, bearing the familiar image of Abraham Lincoln on the obverse. The reverse side carries the classic wheat ears design, introduced in 1909 to commemorate the 100th anniversary of Lincoln's birth. But what sets the 1922 version apart is not its design. It's something even rarer, a missing mint mark. Unlike most years, all 1922 Lincoln cents were produced exclusively at the Denver Mint. Usually, coins from this facility feature a small D mint mark under the date. However, due to worn dies and minting errors, some 1922 cents were struck with either a weak or completely missing D mint mark. These are known as the 1922 no D pennies. This variety has captured the imagination of collectors for generations. The most famous and valuable version is the 1922 no D strong reverse variety, where the obverse shows no mint mark at all, yet the reverse is clearly struck. This specific error makes the coin extremely rare and, therefore, incredibly valuable. The absence of a mint mark might seem like a small detail, but in the world of coin collecting, such features are crucial. Mint marks tell collectors where the coin was produced, and when a coin defies expectations by lacking one, it raises immediate interest. That's why the 1922 no D penny is more than just a 1-cent piece. It's a prized treasure. Why was there no penny minted in Philadelphia that year? The answer lies in a change in production plans. In 1922, the Philadelphia and San Francisco mints focused on producing other coins, leaving penny production solely to the Denver Mint. That decision led to a limited supply and set the stage for the era that would become legendary. The Denver Mint, facing heavy production demands, had to use old dies repeatedly. As a result, some of the dies deteriorated, and in certain cases, the D mint mark was so faint it didn't appear at all on the coin. These errors were not intentional, but they have become key identifiers for one of the most collectible pennies in American history. There are three known varieties of the 1922 penny: the 1922 D with visible mint mark, the 1922 weak D with a very faint mint mark, and the 1922 no D with no visible mint mark at all. The no D variety is the rarest and most valuable, especially in high-grade condition. Another layer of interest comes from the fact that so few of these no D coins have survived in good condition. Most of them were circulated heavily, showing signs of wear, making high-grade examples even more rare and desirable. Uncirculated or well-preserved 1922 no D pennies are exceptionally hard to come by. For collectors, authenticity is everything. That's why coins like the 1922 no D variety must often be verified by reputable grading services, such as PCGS or NGC. These organizations provide certificates that help confirm the legitimacy and condition of the coin, adding to its value. In terms of grading, collectors look closely at the strike of the reverse, the sharpness of Lincoln's profile, and the clarity of lettering. The 1922 no D strong reverse variety is considered the true rarity because the reverse design is crisp and clear, contrasting with the soft obverse where the mint mark should be. Now let's talk about value. While common 1922 D pennies might sell for a few dollars to a few hundred depending on condition, the 1922 no D strong reverse penny can fetch truly astonishing prices. In recent years, high-grade examples have been known to sell for tens of thousands, and in one rare auction, a 1922 no D penny sold for nearly $3 million due to its condition, rarity, and historical significance. That price was not just about the coin's rarity. It also reflected its pristine preservation, authenticated history, and intense bidding interest from collectors. It's a perfect example of how a small error in the minting process can lead to massive long-term value. It's also worth noting that not all 1922 pennies without a mint mark are valuable. Many are simply the result of worn dies and don't fall into the rare no D strong reverse category. That's why it's important to examine the coin thoroughly or have it assessed by a professional before assuming its worth. Collectors are advised to look at the reverse detail. If the wheat ears and lettering are sharp, yet there is no D on the obverse, it may be the valuable variety. Weak reverses often indicate a different error that doesn't command the same value in the marketplace. Even heavily circulated 1922 no D strong reverse coins in lower grades can command several hundred to several $1,000s. But coins in mint state, especially those graded MS 63 or higher, are exceptionally rare and can easily reach six-figure sums depending on market demand. This incredible coin represents more than just a collectible. It's a piece of American industrial history, a snapshot of how even government institutions face production challenges, and how those imperfections sometimes produce enduring legacies. For those lucky enough to own one, the 1922 no D penny isn't just a 1-cent coin. It's a heritage item. For numismatists, it's a grail. And for investors, it represents a unique blend of history, scarcity, and financial appreciation. Whether you're a seasoned collector or someone new to coin collecting, this coin 1922 United States wheat penny coin history